Hey everybody, welcome to JLB Sports TV. I am Justin Block, and today Liverpool lost to Hull City 3-1 in a game that I guess some of you probably thought coming. It felt like a trap game a little bit. And if you didn't think it was a trap game, just consider these stats really quickly. 11 of Hull's 14 total points have come at home this season, while Liverpool have just taken 9 points from 18 total possible points away from Anfield. So Hull is a team that has gotten the majority of their points at home this season. They're a good home team. While Liverpool, on the other hand, just continue their dreadful form away from home by losing today 3-1 and what was an embarrassing victory. Now the lineups coming in, we saw a good amount of changeover from the week. Although John Flanagan stayed at left back, Glenn Johnson stayed at right back. We had a change in central defensive mid. We saw Kolo Toure come in on the right side of center back, and then we saw Martin Skriddle come to play left center back. It didn't work out very well. I'll get to that later. But in midfield, we saw an interesting switch up. Joe Allen was dropped to the bench. We had Lucas and Gerrard sort of pairing together in midfield, and then Henderson was actually the point man in a 2-1 midfield. He was judged as really the number 10 today, as somebody who has to link up Gerrard and Lucas with the attack, and I didn't think he really did a good job. Even though Henderson didn't do a good job, his front three didn't help him out either. We saw Victor Moses come in on the left-hand side as an inverted winger, Raheem Sterling to the right-hand side as a true winger to provide width down the right-hand side, and then Luis Suarez, again with Daniel Sturridge, out injured for 6 to 8 weeks, which is just a crushing blow for Liverpool, was trusted to be the lone central striker today. A role that he actually relished in the beginning of last season, so we shouldn't be concerned with Luis Suarez starting as a central striker. Except today, he was dreadful. The front three really struggled today. It was almost as if they didn't even train together. There was no link-up between the three. There wasn't sort of a free-flowing movement that we've seen from past Brendan Rodgers sides. It just felt like that they didn't have much time on the pitch together. And that's possible. They only had a couple days of training. This is a front three that I don't think has played together once at all this season, with Coutinho being rested and dropped to the bench. I think Brendan Rodgers thought he could get away with playing Victor Moses and Raheem Sterling against Hull City, and yeah, well, it's Hull City. They suck, but again, they're good at home. Liverpool weak away. But given the fact that Liverpool have 6 fixtures, I believe, in December, and Chelsea and Man City back-to-back away from home, this was a Liverpool side whose squad depth was definitely going to be tested this month, especially with Daniel Sturridge out. So Brendan Rodgers probably thought, hey, I can get away with this, and it just didn't work today. What was really disappointing was the fact that I thought Jordan Henderson was terrible today. To me, he's always been better at Liverpool when he's down the center of the pitch. He was signed from Sunderland as a central attacking midfielder, somebody who could be that number 10, and he just wasn't that today. I think we still don't really know what we have with Jordan Henderson as a player, but it's pretty clear that he cannot be the point man in any sort of Liverpool attack. I really wanted him to grab sort of the midfield by the horns today and receive the ball in midfield, turn, and be able to seek out the movement of front three that should have good movement. Suarez, Sterling, Moses, these are all pretty good players on and off the ball, generally speaking, but Henderson just could not link anything out at all today. He was a big disappointment for me today on the side. He did get forward a little bit, but too many times he was hesitant getting into the box. He just didn't pick out any of the good passes either. And today we actually saw the value of Steven Gerrard again. He's somebody who's taken a lot of flack in recent weeks because Liverpool's midfield has basically been Swiss cheese. Lucas isn't the player he was in 2011, and Gerrard has no legs. And Liverpool have, because of that, have been basically passed through in a lot of their losses and a lot of their bad draws. He wasn't exactly dominant in midfield again today because he just has no legs left, but he showed why he's an invaluable part of the Liverpool side just based on his technique alone. His delivery is great, and today he actually had that wonderful goal on that set piece. Normally this season we've seen Luis Suarez take all the free kicks, and I was actually shouting at the screen when I saw Steven Gerrard was running up to take the free kick. I was like, no, why is it Suarez taking it? Suarez is so much better than you at free kicks, but Gerrard made me eat my words, curled in that beautiful free kick effort. So again, his technique alone shows why, especially against lesser teams with weaker midfields, why Steven Gerrard is so valuable. His delivery, technique, set piece, everything. Steven Gerrard still has a magical right foot. Now moving on, where is the defense? This is only the second time this season when Hull has scored 2 or more goals. And given the fact that Liverpool spent so much money on defense this season, I believe Mamadou Sakho was an £18 million signing. Kolo Toure just brought in on a free, but those are still wages you have to pay. Ali Sissoko brought in, you still have to pay his wages, and Sissoko wasn't even played today. Freaking John Flanagan has usurped him in the pecking order at left back. And you didn't start Mamadou Sakho today. I don't know if it's because Brendan Rodgers doesn't trust him, or again, like I said earlier, maybe because of the fixture congestion, he's saving Sakho for the more important games. But regardless, you spend all that money on defense in the offseason. You trust Martin Skriddle out there, and you just got 3 goals that in on you. Mignolet was helpless on all 3 of them. Although I wouldn't be surprised if Mignolet was able to save all 3 of them and save the day. That was not the case today. The first one, I'm going to blame Victor Moses because he tried to be too cheeky and sort of, I don't even know what he was trying to do, but he was trying to get the ball out of the final third, was dispossessed. Martin Skriddle had no pressure on the attacking player for Hull. The shot came off of Skriddle. Unlucky there, but still, Liverpool were licking their wounds after that terrible Moses giveaway. Now, on the other goals, I just don't even know what happened. Just Martin Skriddle screwing up the defense, screwing up just very sloppy back four play like we've seen a lot this season. For all Liverpool spent on defensive players so far, they've really yet to have a great clean game at the back against the sides that really take it to them. And Hull was not going to sit on their back or sit out on their hands and wait for Liverpool to bring it to them in this game. They actually overran Liverpool in my mind. Now moving on to the studs and duds of the match, my dud, you could really say the entire front 3 because Victor Moses and Raheem Sterling were just dreadful out there, dispossessed so many times, really provided no attacking emphasis, no channels down the wing. But I think Luis Suarez was the true dud of the match. He completed only 67% of his passes and failed to create a chance, which is really surprising for Luis Suarez. I'd like to go back and see when was the last time Luis Suarez played a game and didn't create a chance, because he's been so good at not only creating for himself, but providing for others, and Luis Suarez failed to create anything today. Yeah, it was just that bad for Luis Suarez day. It's like he had 2 left boots on or something. And immediately we're feeling the impact of not having Daniel Sturridge out there. Obviously Luis Suarez and Daniel Sturridge both are at their best when they have each other as running partners. They can play off each other's movement. And today Luis Suarez had Victor Moses and Raheem Sterling out wide. But he really didn't take it upon himself to make those guys better, and as a result, Liverpool suffered. My stud of the match, I'm hesitant to give one because it was a 3-1 loss, but I'm going to have to say John Flanagan. He was very tidy at left back, again, continues to impress. We'll have to see if Brendan Rodgers trusts him against City and Chelsea later this month. But John Flanagan, again, a good tidy game today. He actually got forward a lot more today, so showed off some quickness. So I think John Flanagan might actually develop into a good player for Liverpool. He led the team in tackles today, so John Flanagan, impressive. If you were ever to ask me whether John Flanagan would be one of my studs of the match come December, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. Who got injured for that to happen? But yeah, John Flanagan surprising a lot of people. So we're sorely missing Suarez and Sturridge right now. Time and time this season, we've seen basically the rest of the starting 9, maybe not Mignolet, just play like shit the entire game, and then Suarez and Sturridge bail us out with some great goals. That's not going to be the case. Sturridge is out for 6 to 8 weeks, and given all the fixtures we have coming up, this is a concerning month for Liverpool because they really lack squad depth. They've only taken 4 points from the last 4 games. They have Norwich next week, and Brendan Rodgers needs to find answers somehow, and I don't know if they're on the bench because I don't trust Aspas. Luis Alberto only has 2 senior starts to his name throughout his entire professional career. I don't know what's going to go on with Liverpool, but Brendan Rodgers, find some answers next week. If you have answers for this Liverpool team, drop them down below in the comments. That's all for today of JLB Sports TV. I'm Justin Block, and today Hull City claimed their first ever win over Liverpool at the KC Stadium.